going to see a Super Bowl win. Like, my window is closing, Fred.
Never know. I mean, it could happen. I could end up at one of these Chauncey Billups poker games.
It's Monday, y'all. And it's Monday. Fred and I are back. Fred, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. You know, I'm just recovering a little from my baseball game yesterday. Knees aren't like they used to be. You know what I mean?
We're going to get into that because I definitely need to hear about the baseball. Now, this episode is brought to you by Playoff Mike Tees. If you want custom logos, custom merch, hit up Playoff Mike, playoffmike.com. And he actually has a 30% promo going this week for the It's Monday, Y'all merch. So jump in there, type in the promo code MADNESS, and get that 30% off at the Playoff Mike Tees. Fred, I have a question before we bring on our guest. I want to talk to you about one thing. I'm going to give you 3 situations. Top NFL news right now, okay? You tell me which one's the number one. Max Crosby going to the Ravens. Dak breaking off his engagement at the joint bachelorette party. Or Joe Burrow knowing he's going to play against Myles Garrett, Watt, and now Crosby 2 times a year. So he goes to the casino and hooks up with Jessica Alba. What's the best story out there right now?
I mean, Minka to the Jets is pretty big. I mean, I don't know why you skipped over that one, but no, I mean the Dax and the Joe Burrows, both of them. Like, listen, Max, the Max deal's crazy, like obviously, but I'm more into the Dax Prescott and Joe Burrows type of off-season, transactions.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I asked. Yeah. I think the Great Bachelor Party was a terrible idea, Dak. And I think Joe Burrow, I think your head's in the right spot. I think you're in a good spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's those are the transactions in the NFL offseason that I look most forward to, because I'm not I don't care about the draft as much nowadays, unless, I mean, right now I do, for the Steelers getting a new quarterback, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But like, I love the off-season just drama. I like the drama.
We're going to talk hoops starting out, but I got a special guest, very special guest, friend of mine for quite some time now, host of the Elite Real Estate podcast, Warren De La Salle coach, basketball coach, none other than my main man, Jimmy Nelson. Nelson, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Oh,
Jimmy,
man.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, man. This is exciting stuff.
I appreciate you coming on, man. And Fred doesn't even know this, but I was on Jimmy's podcast about maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we got to get you back on.
Yeah, I do. I definitely get it back on. And he kind of inspired me on some of the things he was doing. And this is how we got to where we're at today. So obviously special thanks to Jimmy. It's always good to have people to lean on, that do the same thing or kind of the same thing you do, and learn from each other, boys. But we got to talk hoops. It's March Madness, and that's why I want to bring you on, Jimmy. The first and foremost, because of the situation this weekend when it comes locally here, Cade is a talented basketball player, but I think the problem is if he doesn't take this team past the first round, I think there's still some questions. And we had a very rough weekend. We lost to the Nets. We lost to the, to the Heat. Let me ask you guys, you, Jimmy, being local, are you a little concerned of the status of the Pistons right now? Do you sniff a little bit of what the Tiger season looked like last year? Because that's what some people are saying right now.
I don't want to say yes to that question, but it's eerily similar, right? And then depending on injuries, right? We got whatever injuries are coming up, but like Cade has elite like pace and control for the game. It's been amazing to watch his growth from Oklahoma State to where he is now, right? Like that, just his control of the game is outstanding. Now, to your point, can he take us to the next level? And the next level, I think, is just like getting past the first round. Can they get past the first round? Depending on who they get. I mean, to look at the Nets loss, yeah, it's a bad loss, but they were up 20. What were we up 23 at one point?
23.
Yeah, and to lose that game, it's a bad loss, but everybody has them. To the San Antonio thing, like Wemby's an alien. So that is like anybody can have that game. Wemby's he's a weirdo. Like I don't even understand what that guy is. 7'4" or whatever. He can run up the court, shoot threes, like do all the things. So comparing that one's tough. But I do think I wish they would have made a trade at the deadline. I wish they would have gone for Michael Porter Jr. I really would have
100%.
liked that one.
Talking to Christian last night, and that's exactly what he said. Fred, what's your thought after the weekend?
Well,
A couple of weeks we've been talking about
I
this. I mean,
mean,
you're a SGA guy and
well,
a
yeah.
six.
Well, I'm a Sixer fan, but like I texted you a week ago and I said, do the Pistons even get the 1 seed? Because, Boston's back. I think it's 2.5 right now they're at. They do hold a game in hand. But like, do the Pistons get the 1 seed is I think the of relevant question. I don't think that now asking if Cade can take it to the next level, he already did that, to be honest.
By getting us to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking about one dude. Like, like that's not fair to say he's a failure if you don't do something. Like, he is a total stud. The kid, like, I mean, so I think he did get you to the next level. Like you were saying, maybe you get somebody at the deadline and stuff like that to help out. I mean, the Pistons got like 7 first rounders on their roster. I mean, they did what they had to do to get themselves into this position. But again, I'll say this again, and I said this to Brad. Now our guests can hear it. Jimmy, I think it ends with billboards on 75 complaining about the refs or something else. That's how this ends.
Yeah, that I'm gonna put and then I responded with him and I told him I'm gonna put him on a billboard
That's
and
right.
we just didn't advertise the podcast. But yeah, the billboard is a thing that we obviously are notorious for when things don't go our way. Jimmy, you brought up a very good point, and I thought this an interesting take because when Cade first came to the Pistons, the way he moved on the court. At first, I wasn't a fan. I felt like you were giving me about 70%, but I think as a coach, you kind of put it in the right perspective. It's the flow at which he plays at. And it takes a little while to get used to as a fan because he just seems like he's coasting, but he's really more methodical in the way he moves.
Yeah, he almost seems slow, right? It almost seems like he
Yes.
moves slow. But then if you've been courtside, like
Yep.
you get courtside, but my man is not slow. It is
Far
anything
from it.
but it's
Far from
methodical, right? Like I feel like Cade is one of those players that plays chess, not checkers. He is
Great
going
point.
to be that guy that's going to break you down. He's going to be patient. He's gonna take his shots when he can get them. He's not gonna he's not gonna overpress and do some of those things that younger players. And it's funny because he's been even when he was a rookie, he was played that way. That you couldn't speed him up. And now he's this crafty veteran that you can't speed up. So it's got even slower than it was when he started. That's one of the things I really like about Cade's game, actually.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing too is I wanted to ask you guys, I got a question for you too. Well, obviously Jason Tatum's back. He looked good this weekend. He didn't play a ton, but I thought he looked really good. He kind of, they said he was kind of watching the team. He wasn't like off rehabbing. He was working with the team and he knew where he needed to fill in those parts. I think to Fred's point, I think Jason Tatum being back in the East is a problem. I do have a question for you guys. And this brings up because of the Harden situation in Cleveland, who has the best 1-2 combo in the East? Is it Cade and Darren, Tatum and Brown, Harden and Mitchell, or Brunson and Townsend? Freddie, I'll let you answer first.
What about Maxi and VJ?
Fred, I didn't bring up the Sixers. I don't think they're relevant.
Maxi and Embiid, I think, have the best combo.
Wait, does Embiid play though?
Only when he has to. But I think Brunson and Cat, I mean, like that's a great duo. All of the ones that you mentioned are, I mean, who has the best one? I'm not I will find out, right? Because, in the playoffs it really shows. But I think we have to go a little deeper when it gets into the playoffs. You're looking at like your third guy who comes out and really changes the game sometimes. But yeah, I would go Brunson and Cat though, if you want me to answer.
Jimmy?
Yeah, mine with Tatum coming back and the way Tatum looked, I'm saying Tatum and Brown. Cat, I think to me he's too emotional, right? Like Cat you can rattle his cage a little bit and get him off his game. But I do think for me, I think it's Tatum and Brown, and then I think it's Cade and Darren. I think that's the next set of the dynamic duo. But Freddie's point, you've got to have that third person because you've got Batman and Robin, but you got to have one more that can do something, right? Darren, as much as I love Darren's game, I mean, Darren's fantastic.
And drastically increased over the past 3 years.
Yes.
offensively. Defensively, he's always been a very good attribute to the team, but now offensively, he's bringing it. So he's making progress of being a better teammate. Let's call it.
Right, right. But you can't just necessarily dump him the ball and let him go score. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, he's not going to square you up and break you down, which kind of cat can do that from time to time. So that's the difference for me. Is that's why. But the Pistons they need that third. That's why I really would have liked another shooter. I
I
tried to.
think
I sent my resume in. I can still shoot it, and I'm like, I can just stand in the corner. You guys feed me. I'll shoot it. We'll be good. They didn't. They never called me back.
how wide open do you need to be though?
Not very, man. I still shoot
Okay.
every day. Yeah, I still shoot every day. Yeah, I still shoot every
Still,
day.
still got it. Still got it. All right, let's get into a little college basketball. That's why I wanted to bring you on, Jimmy. Obviously, March Madness. Michigan wins the Big Ten. Jeremy Fears Jr. loves to nut shots. I don't know what's going on. It's a first. Izzo's mad because apparently he doesn't feel he's the little brother. What was your guys' take? I'll start with the Michigan situation first because obviously it's the talk of town. They had a great run in the regular season, probably the front runner, if not not probably, they are the front runner for the Big Ten championship. Jimmy, let me ask you first, how far do you think Michigan can go?
I honestly think Michigan can win it all. To be honest, I mean, I like if you look at if I were to look at the top 4 seeds, it's you have Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida. I think those are my top 4. Right?
Yep.
Florida looks phenomenal right now. I'm scared of Florida right now. But Michigan, to me, somebody has asked me this morning. To me, the Michigan comparison is Indiana football, right? They spent the right money. They brought in the right, and again, it's college basketball, college sports now. This is where we're at.
Right.
How old's Yaxel? 24? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
my man's been playing for 5 years. So when these kids are 23, 24 years old, and that's been the amazing thing about Duke is being able to reload with these freshmen who are 18, 19. But now Michigan's got, 3 guys that are, Cano was a point guard at North Carolina for 4 years,
Right.
so it's like,
From my hometown.
there you go.
Anytime we bring up somebody that is from or around the Jersey area, Fred will interrupt and just let you know that he was from Jersey.
I mean, he was West Orange. Second best point guard to come out of West Orange behind KI.
There we go. See,
Another West Orange guy.
Yeah, but those guys out of New Jersey don't have jump shots, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Jump
Brett,
people, not shots.
what's your take on Michigan and how they played against Michigan State? And are you pro nut shot or anti nut shot? You think that's the way to win a game? I
I'm
mean,
not.
he's kissing the floor and kicking nuts, bro. What do you think?
Well, you know how I feel about that whole state thing, sucking off the logo and stuff like that. I'm not crazy about that stuff. So the nut shot, I guess, falls right in line. But
It's another
I
quiver.
yeah, I also think that Michigan can win everything. Like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. That Michigan Duke game was basically a Final Four game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if they end up matching up again, or if I'm talking Final Four type stuff. I mean, it's Michigan, Arizona, maybe a Houston, Florida. They're going to be some really big games that we get to see, and I definitely think that Michigan can win it all. Definitely, 100%. They're one of
Don't forget my
they're
boys
number-
right here.
What's that?
Don't forget my Alabama boys.
Well, yeah, no, I wouldn't count out Alabama. I wouldn't count out Houston. There's a couple teams in there that, Kansas can do some damage a little bit. I'm not, I think dark horse. I'm a Seton Hall guy. So I wouldn't count out UConn. Hurley losing his mind over the weekend was hilarious.
I love him so much. I really, really do. I really, really do.
Video of both of them getting technicals at the same time. Amazing. They both got technicals at the same time. I'm like, this is like, it's like cinema. I was like, this is great.
Yeah. So I think that you can't count out like a UConn here and there. In the lower seeds or the higher seeds, I don't know how people talk about it. If, is a lower seed a 7-8, or is that a higher seed? I guess it's a higher number, but whatever. Like Texas, I think Villanova is a decent squad. I'm talking about in the 7, 8 seeds, around there. But when we get down to it, like right now, I mean, Vegas is calling Michigan the favorite, I believe, or slightly behind Duke. So like,
I-
it's gonna be fun. This is championship week, which is amazing. So like this
So
is the
fun.
week you get to see all the small conferences play and the bigger ones too. I just mean like you get to see it more on ESPN, ESPN2, CBS Sports and Fox Sports of all these smaller conferences. So championship week's awesome.
Compared to the Ocho that you would normally watch in the downtime, ESPN, the Ocho.
Definitely.
The
Dodgeball.
transfer portal is killing Cinderella teams. Fred and I have spoke about this numerous times, Jimmy, and I'm just curious what your thought is. Can you give me a team that you think will give us an upset? We think it's a thing of the past now with the format. Is there a team out there right now that you're gonna say, hey, Fred, load up on Thursday on this team because you're gonna be an upset? Because I'm taking notes, Jimmy, because I'm gonna be betting these.
Well, it's funny. I mean, so the interesting piece is going to come out the Miami of Ohio, 31-0, man. I mean, like, where are they going to seed them? Like, can you imagine being 31-0 and not getting a 1 seed?
Well, now you guys may know better than me, but correct me if I'm wrong. They might be looking at a 5-6-ish seed.
Yeah.
And that's saying if they win the MAC.
Yeah.
Could we see a Miami first round?
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
That's a possibility. So who do you think?
Roethlisberger versus Ray Lewis? Yeah, so the transfer portal thing, the guard play, it always comes down to guard play. And the teams who have older guards are typically the ones that will make a run, right? And so, like, looking at that, I had to consult my son on this, my oldest one, and be like, I'm like, all right, dude, what? And so he hit me with, this ones I'll give you. San Diego State, Dayton Drake, and what was his other one? Colorado State.
All three of those teams are possible upset in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's right. Yep. He said the other one was if St. Louis makes it in, St. Louis is another one. And he brought up Miami of Ohio too. Cause like, and everybody can say like, well, they haven't played anybody. They played everybody in their league, right? And they went into overtime last week and got an overtime win. And you know how hard that is, like to keep that undefeated record, and everybody wants to beat them.
Right.
For them to get through that, I think that's huge. But and I don't know if it's killed Cinderella, but like, think about it. Like Michigan, technically could be like Cinderella. I know it's a blue blood and it's a big school, but they spent all the right money in the right place. I mean, it's Indiana in football.
Right. Now, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and fill Fred in with what your son does? I think that how you just quoted him, I think you need to give us a little context into why it's not just some dude off the street that's playing fantasy college basketball.
Yeah, so my son works for the University of Alabama. He works for the basketball team. So he's a manager on the basketball team, and he's been there. This is year 4. And so, but he does a lot of the analytics with them. He does a bunch of different stuff with them. But he knows the NBA stuff now as well, because the guys that have gotten drafted, he's friends with those guys. And so now he is a student of basketball. So it's funny. My wife said, like, when he gets his degree is going to be in sports management. But I said, it's really in basketball. It's really not in sports management. Yes, is going to be on the diploma, but it's really in basketball and networking. When I called him, I'm like, hey, and I'm like, I should have had him on instead of me, because he can break down.
To get him on.
Yeah, when you talk about trades, he's like, well, no, you can't make this trade because the money doesn't make sense. You got to move so and so with so and so, and you got to have a pick here. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Like, I don't even know where you're coming from right now.
4 years is what? 4 years. I've known Jimmy for a long time. I've met his son before. 4 years is wild. I did not realize he was out. If you had to put a gun to my head, I probably would have told you he was on year 2 or 3, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's in year 4. And then he's going to Nashville this week because the Alabama plays Friday in Nashville. And, I mean, like, think about it. You're a college kid. He's 21 years old. He's going to be in Nashville for the week. Like, come on.
I'll tell you what, if that was me, I would have been like, hey guys, sorry I missed the game yesterday.
I know. I would have never made the game.
The bachelorette party program that was going on in Nashville, and I couldn't make the rest of it. Fred, give me, then I guess that's why I wasn't in that position in college.
Yep.
Fred, what about you, my friend? Is there any team out there that screams possible Cinderella?
I don't see many, man. And we've talked about this as well. I just think, moving forward from 2 years ago, last year, really. I don't see major upset. Will we get an upset? Yeah, yeah, we will. We just won't get the frequency that we used to get maybe 4 years ago or so. I don't know if there's going to be any big time upsets. I will say this. We have to talk about this next Monday because the bracket's not out yet. So like we can't get a real feel on like the matchups because sometimes when you look at a matchup, you say a St. Louis or somebody like that can beat that team. But right now, I don't see any team that sparks my interest.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I'm contemplating as soon as Selection Sunday is over, we go live and then we just go through those brackets and then recap it on Monday. So that was something. But for your sake, it's going to be like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. For me, it's going to be past my bedtime.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it'll
just
be
hoping for I need a Seton Hall win this week. At least one win in the Big East tournament gets us to 22 wins. I don't know if that makes it, but if they can I will say this. If Seton Hall wins on Thursday, what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm waiting for it.
If Seton Hall wins on Thursday and it lines up that they play the Johnnies on Friday in the semis, they will beat the Johnnies. So like that gets us in the tournament. So like let's go. Here we go now. We're back. And then we're a team that could shock some people.
Okay. Okay.
So there's
All
my
right.
that's my dark horse selection. If
Hot
the
take.
stars align.
It's a hot take. Hot take. So March Madness is probably the worst format to determine the best team, but that's why I love it. I'm curious what your guys' thought of the actual format of the tournament. Do you like it? Would you like to see a change in it, or is it just the way it's been? Is the way it's always going to be? Jimmy?
So I look at it two different ways, right? So as a coach and going through this as a coach, it's the worst because you're done. Like your season's over immediately. There's no, that's it. Your season's over immediately.
Right.
But as a fan and somebody who watches it, like again, you go back to the last second shot and the Cinderella and it's like again the cinema behind it of the beauty of the game, and then it's like, but it's that I can't wait for the end, the one shining moment. That's I stay up till whatever time it is that Monday night after the championship game to watch one shining moment. Like everybody in my house goes to bed except me. But I record it and I gotta watch it. Like that's because it's just like it's beautiful. Like the whole like it's kind of what sports even we're going through NIL and transfer portal and all the other crap that we're going through. Like we still have that moment. You know what I mean? And whoever cuts that net down at the end, like they had that moment. They got through this round of 68 teams, and I don't want them to expand it anymore. I don't stop expanding it. Like I know they're hunting money. It's kind of like the football playoff thing. They want more money. I get it, but stop expanding it. I never thought we should have gone past 4 teams, let alone 8 or 12. Now they want talking about 16 for football. Like, forget it. Stupid. But the 68 for basketball, like, leave it alone and just let the magic happen, man. That's where I'm at.
Freddie, what's your thought?
I mean, it's something that we all grew up with. So, like, I mean, it's kind of very special. Now, as I gotten older, my thoughts changed about the process. It's just, I just don't like the marketing of the 64 best teams in America. It's not. It's, like, and that would be my only negative response about it. Because, I mean, there's going to be teams that are better than some of the teams that make it that aren't in the tournament. I mean, that's fact. So, like, how do we get past that? I mean, win your division, I guess, is is usually the response. But, it, when a team wins their division, small division, like are they better than some of the teams in the Big Ten? No. So it's kind of cool. It's a cool way. But like I said, this is something we grew up with. I guess I'm at the point where it is what it is. It is what it is. I think that I'm not it's way above my pay grade to start moving things and changing things around. Like I wouldn't even know how to do that. The only thing I would say is, maybe I agree with Jimmy. It's like, I don't want to drag it on too long to have like, play-ins for the lower conferences, and stuff like that. Like we've been this way for a long time. So like, it is what it is. Like, like again, I'm saying I'm talking about 22 wins in the Big East to try to barely get us into the into the bracket, but then you have teams that are 500 in a lower conference that are gonna make the tournament because they won their conference. Now,
Sure.
is it fair? I don't know if it's fair. Like, I'm not one to judge on that, but it is what it is. These are the rules, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was telling Fred, and Jimmy, you know me well enough. You know the sports I like. You know the sports I talk about. Not a hockey guy by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? I'm not. And I
Which
was.
is interesting living in Hockey Town, USA.
I don't live in Hockey Town, USA, Fred. I live in hockey country now.
I would
I was glued to the TV when it came to hockey in the Olympics. And I told Fred, I sent him a text. I said, I don't know what it is. I think I'm a hockey fan now. But what I realized is it because it was game 7 every single time.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I think this format is awesome. And to your point, that's why Thursday I have plans all day. Friday, I plan on smoking cigars all afternoon from like noon to 5 at Don Cristo's. Meet me out there if you're in the area. But that's my plan. Like I'm taking those afternoons off. We're gonna watch one game. We got the FanDuel apps up. We got $5 on every game. Like it's just so much fun, and it's an absolute favorite time of year. But I got to ask you guys questions again. This is fun because I think we're going to have two different perspectives on this question because it's coming from a fan and then it's going to be coming from a coach perspective. But this whole Darren Peterson thing that's going on in Kansas, his antics in the regular season, what his potential in the media is, it's like how big, how great is he going to be? But it feels like there might be a little bit of an issue internally with Darren and how he plays in this tournament. Jimmy, what's your take on this kid from Kansas and from the coach's perspective? And let's say you're coaching Kansas. Are you going to coddle this kid or are you just going to, hey man, you're sitting over there in the corner. Did you let me know when you're ready? And then we'll bring you in, guy.
Yeah, man, this is where times have changed. Like I've been coaching long enough, like that. I've had to learn how to like adjust to kids today, and I say that because like I'm assisting a former player. Like I became my point guard I coached in high school is coaching the JV team at De La Salle. Now I'm his assistant, right? So that's where I'm at in my career journey. But the way I could treat him, and it's funny because like he's like, Coach, you used to be a lot tougher. I'm like, I'm still tough, man. You just got to be a little bit different, right? Kids are different nowadays,
Yep.
and people can say, but now I just sound like an old man. But no, this Darren Peterson thing, like he's probably the best player in America when he plays. I mean, there's no question. His talent, it's this uber talent, but it's a little weird, right? Like I don't think Kansas is going to win it all. And this is the effect of the NBA, this load management stuff. Like, my ankle kind of hurts, so I'm going to take tonight off. You used to have Larry Bird flying in a special seat on an airplane because his back hurt so bad that they had to lay. And then when he came out of the game, he had to lay down on the sideline because his back hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And then they just lay down, put heat packs on him until he could get back in the game. Now
Right.
he would have sat out 3-4 games. And the idea that these guys don't play the second game of a back-to-back ever, I'm like, you make $40 million a year and you can't play 2 games in a row.
Let
So
me ask
I
you
think,
this. How would you treat
yeah,
this kid in Kansas?
Me?
Jimmy, and I'm going to
yeah.
go to you now.
Honestly, probably if I was sounds crazy, but I probably wouldn't have recruited him. Like if I was in that position at Kansas, I probably wouldn't have recruited him. Like because those signs were there in high school. That didn't just automatically. That wasn't just up here, right? That didn't just show up one day. That wasn't like us high school coaches. We all talk, and when college coaches come in, they come in and sit with us and ask about the kid. And you have to be honest because here's the thing: it's not about disparaging a kid or telling him bad things. I'm interviewing too because now in a year or two, I might have another kid that they're going to come recruit. And if I blow this kid up and tell them, oh, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then when they get him on campus, the kid's a moron, all of a sudden they're not going to come back to me and ask my opinion anymore because I can't judge talent. So I got to be honest because I've got other kids coming through. So it's a tricky spot, but I probably wouldn't have recruited him if I would have, though that writing was on the wall before that.
Right. Fred, what's your thought on the situation at Kansas?
I think he's all the hype. I mean, I think he's worth the hype. I roll the dice on the kid. I mean, if he can stay healthy or whatever, I mean, I think he's missed 10, 11 games this year already. In a college season, that's a ton. It's a lot in the NBA, kind of.
I was going to say he'll fit right in the NBA.
Yeah, but 11 in college transfers to what, like 30 in the NBA? I mean,
Yeah.
like, but yes, I do agree he's one of the best players in America. I mean, And I don't know, like, it's a tough call because, I mean, I'm not coming as a coach, right? I'm not giving you my analysis or even response as a coach. So that's why I'm like, fucking roll the dice on the kid. Like, like I got nothing to lose as a fan. Like,
Yeah.
I love this. Like, like I don't care if the fucking ship sinks. Like, so yeah, like I want to see him play more, obviously, because I really do think that he could be the best player in America. He's that good. Like, so I mean, it sucks when these kids come along where you're like, I can't wait to see this guy play, or this kid's supposed to be amazing. And then they play half the games. Like, like Cooper Flagg didn't do that. We knew Cooper Flagg when he was coming in, he actually reclassed the other way to come in early. And
Wild.
the hype was there about Cooper Flagg. Like, hey, this dude is going to be a total stud. And you know what? He was. Like, I mean, he was what they told us he was going to be. Now this
Right.
guy, like, I mean, we've heard a ton, and I guess you have to listen to that too. Like Jimmy said, like this is not new. The drama behind this. This is not something where no one's surprised. I don't think. I don't think Kansas is surprised. I think Kansas rolled the dice on the kid and said, maybe we can change him.
Yeah. It's
Did you say
funny.
the same thing when they drafted Markelle Fultz?
Dude. But I hated him though. So like, and there's a couple guys that ended up like that. And like, like it's like that happens too.
Yeah.
It's like it transfers into the NBA. Like yeah, no, I don't know if I want the Sixers drafting this kid, but for right now, I don't care if the Kansas ship burns to the ground. I'm here for it.
Right.
Like
I had to
It's
throw the
funny
Markelle
too.
Fultz thing at you, man. Sorry. I know you're a Sixers guy, so I had to throw that out there.
I hated Markelle Fultz.
Hence the reason Jimmy brought it up.
Yeah, you could add Tatum, but who cares?
I was actually, and I will keep the local high school name out of it, but I was at a local high school game recently, and I was talking with one of the coaches, and the coaches said to me that this team, who had a very good season, prior to had a really good player on the team. And the kid constantly said, "Hey, I'm moving. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go somewhere else." And finally, I think the coaching staff was just like, "Okay, just go." And without him, they ended up doing better and having an amazing regular season, probably the best season in school history. And I think, Jimmy, as a coach, the way you answered that question, you've been in those situations where you have those type of kids, or maybe the ego, the attitude, the parents sometimes cause issues, and maybe just getting that particular person out helps the cohesiveness of that team and helps them play a little bit better. But I thought that was an interesting situation that happened here locally, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that makes sense." And
Yeah.
getting that person out of the locker room only benefited everybody else on the team.
Yeah. I had an old mentor of mine told me one time, he said, the best place to coach? An orphanage.
I think I heard you say that before.
Because you don't have to worry about the parent. Because it always comes from the parents, man. Typically, it's not the kid. It's usually the parents. The kids will push the limits, and if the parents let them get away with it, they're going to push it even farther. Or the parents are like, well, you should be getting the ball more. Come to practice and watch your kid at practice. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, you can't do that because then you get, it's a mess. Like sometimes. But again, now we have NIL in Michigan, so the NIL stuff is very, very strict though. Like I've dug into it because immediately I went, well, how can I get my kid one of these deals?
Who's out there getting the bag, bro?
My kid's gonna have "It's Monday, y'all" tattooed on his chest.
I love it. We'll have playoff
As long
Mike
as the
putting-
money's right, baby, right? You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Well, hey, he's trying out for golf this week, so get him a golf bag. It's Monday, y'all golf bag. We'll put it out there on the.
Love it. Love it. We have playoff Mike get the designs in. But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. The NIL thing, a couple weeks back, we had National Nady on, who is a sports manager, talking about the NIL stuff. But it's wild. And that was my first thing, Jimmy, when they announced the NIL stuff here locally for high school. I immediately thought, you think coaches have a problem now or then wait till mom's chasing the bag too with the kid, right? It's like, get my
Oh,
kid
yeah.
in because we got money to, I got to pay a mortgage. You know what I mean? Like, those things happen, and it could be interesting. It could be interesting to say the least.
It happens more than you think. I know a lot of things that have happened, and you know what? The social media hasn't made it any easier. I've had players here locally, like, they come in, they've got 30,000 followers on Instagram already. You know what I mean? They're
It is.
rolling in, they're freshmen, sophomores with 30,000 followers on IG because they post all their stuff. And they're like, "Well, why need this, this?" And I'm like, "Well, it's what we're dealing with now, man. That's the world we live in now."
How much insight can you give us in the recruiting process in the De La Salle school? Like, is that something you can talk about? I didn't write that on the show notes, and I don't want to get
We
you in
don't
trouble.
recruit.
Okay. Okay. If that's the stance you want to take, Jimmy, that's fine. But I'm just curious how that's going to affect that school, public school relationship in the basketball world. As you can see right now, I follow the high school basketball tournament, and I'm really excited to see what Brother Rice does. They're close. Some of the other teams I was following, I mean, obviously Rochester had a bad loss in the district finals, being undefeated. We were pulling for our guy Braylon France, who lost to Detroit Country Day. It was a tough loss for him because he's a great kid. Do you think this NIL stuff is going to affect anything between the difference between public and private school, or is it just so? Like, his National Navy said that it was such a little window of people that are going to get that money that it doesn't really seem like it would affect. But what's your thought on it?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna have a drastic effect. Look, there's already a problem with transfers and at the high school level anyway. Like, we're already see this problem. The haves are still gonna have, the have-nots are still gonna have not, right? Like, you're gonna have every once in a while, you're gonna have some groups rise up. Like Lincoln, like Warren Lincoln last year, right? Wins the state title. They had the right group. They had them for 4 years. They grew it up together, and then they all graduated, and now they had a down year. That's
Yeah.
just kind of what you're going to see happen. But like the concern is like a Brother Rice, right? Like, there's a ton of money out of Brother Rice. There's a ton of money out of CC. The CC loss. I don't know if you saw that too.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that loss was crazy.
Yep.
We played CC 3 times, and there was no doubt in my mind that CC was going to win the state title. No doubt.
Well, okay. Who did
And
they
that
lose
loss,
to?
like, was it East Kentwood or no,
Yeah.
Pioneer. They lost to Pioneer. They lost to
Oh,
Pioneer.
yeah. I know.
Yeah, they lost to Pioneer at the buzzer. From an out of bounds play, a baseline out of bounds play at the buzzer.
Wow.
Just a tip in at the buzzer. It was crazy. So, but you have that, right? So I don't know that it's going to affect that much, because I think that right now, the last I heard, there was like one kid in Michigan who got an NIL deal, and he got like $1,000 from a pizza place.
Right.
That was it. Like, I think that's all. Like, because they actually did the rules correctly. They're very strict. I couldn't, like, with my business, I couldn't like get an NIL deal with any kid at De La Salle. I mean, I can't, because of my affiliation with De La Salle. So I can't
Okay.
do any of that. I'm already excluded. I was trying to figure out how to just put my son on my NIL stuff, let him advertise for the real estate business, and just pay like
Money
somehow
flowing.
just like tax, get school paid for somehow, right? And
You're
just
not
my tax.
asking for the whole bag, just half the bag.
Yeah, just half, man. And but no, like, what, because I'm affiliated with De La Salle, I'm out. So that's one. Like, alumni alumni that owns a business can't put a kid through school based on NIL stuff. So, like, there are very strict rules around it, which they actually did it correctly. Not like college, when they just said, here's all the money in the world. You guys go get a bag and then come back and then go somewhere else and get another one and the transfer portals, I think, what has to get fixed before anything.
Yeah, Fred's made comments about this, and he's had some ideas that we've talked about over the past, year and a half. It's just like putting regulations on how long they have to stay, or, hey, you're going to get this money yanked if you move, or isn't it kind of around the way of what you were saying, Fred? How to like limit
Well,
that?
yeah. I mean, if they put some kind of cap, like pay to play, like, like at freshman level, you can only make a certain amount. And then if you stay, you can make more as you go along, but staying in the same school, like, because like Jimmy was saying, they just bounce around now. It's like, and this is coming from a Seton Hall guy. We have 5 different starters every year, and we run 10 guys, 9 are transfers. So, like, I mean, it's like, and the transfer portal, and this has nothing to do with specific guys. We get the last of the transfers. because we have the least amount of money. You know, Seton Hall is big on the integrity of the game, and which is bullshit. Like, you know, spend the money. You know, my $50 isn't going to move the needle when they keep fucking calling and emailing me every fucking 3 months. Like, get out of here with that shit. Like, but like, you know, like,
Maybe you should up it to $100, man. Maybe move the needle a little bit, Fred.
what's that?
I said maybe you should bump it to $100. Maybe move the needle a little bit.
Listen, I gave enough money to the school. I'm not one of the guys. I tell them when they call, you're barking up the wrong tree. Like I I don't know what to tell you guys. I said like, you know, for the last, I mean, you know this. I mean, legally, allegedly, I was in the marijuana business. I don't know what you want from me. Like, you know, like can I give the kids some weed? Like, you know, like what
Here's
so
a
like
bag of gummies.
yeah, like, I mean, if that's but, you know, private Catholic university, they don't wanna deal with that shit, and they're and another thing, they're the baseball team at Seton Hall University, Big East, no NIL. Like, you guys are gonna you're destroying the program by, like, announcing that. So but, yes, we do get the bottom of the barrel with the transfers because they go everywhere else to see how much they can get. And then when they don't get picked up or don't like the situation, then Seton Hall gets them. So, like, for instance, last year, Seton Hall's budget was 1.5 mil for the entire basketball team. Like, where are you going with that when you have Nova, the Johnnies, and UConn? Like you're not gonna. But they restructured the Big East where there's profit sharing. But like that ended up making Seton Hall's budget $3 million this year, which is fine. It's kind of like around the average if you average them out. Obviously, UConn and the Johnnies are spending a little more. Nova's spending a little more. But like, so, but still, I'm big on the recruitment. There is no recruiting anymore. Like, there is no going around and sitting at some parent's house and talking to this senior in high school. You don't even have to do it. Like, you know, like you just sit and look at the portal. That's what seems like Seton Hall does. Like that's my point. It's like we have one guy that we recruited and I think he's a stud, but the last guy we recruited left after his sophomore year. So like even the guys we recruit are going to bounce. So the portal is killing a team like Seton Hall.
I was always a fan of it when kids could transfer if a coach left. Like I feel like if the coach
Definitely,
leaves,
of course.
here's your
Of
window.
course.
You can go to, you know, and then you got the old guys going, they should go pick it based on the school. Not, I'm like, they're only going because of the coach, man. Like that's the only reason they're going to that school. Like that's it. So, and I agree with that. But like this whole transferring and not even like it happened with Caden Proctor from Alabama. Like when Saban retired, he hit the portal, transferred to Iowa. Iowa gave him all the money that they had. He went through spring, transferred back to Alabama, took the money with him, and and Iowa was like, well, we don't have any money now. And he never played it down. He just went through spring ball and went back to Alabama.
I didn't even know that story. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. He literally left Alabama, went to Iowa, took all the money, and then transferred back to Alabama. And Iowa was like, we don't have any money now.
I mean, I'm not mad at the kid, you know.
It's not illegal. That's the problem. And that's to start the whole thing that Jimmy brought how we got in this situation is the whole thing is it is the wild, wild west. And guys like me, I'll say this. I can speak freely about the other two gentlemen on this podcast. Guys like us, if we find a loophole to work the system, we're working the system, guys.
100%.
I'm going to give my bag and then I'm going back.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, coming from Jersey, we created the loophole. One of the great inventions of the New Jersey folks was we created the loophole. So, you know, and I mean, you know, and corruption. So like when you do it hand in hand, you know, like it's pretty good. It works out.
For sure. Hey, Jimmy, I really, really appreciate you coming on. Any last words before you take off?
No, Matt, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And if you want me, if you want me on live next Sunday, Selection Sunday, let me know. I'll get my son to come on. He'll give you some insider information. Maybe we'll see what you guys want to do.
I'd love to do it, man. We'll talk off camera and we'll get you on. But Jimmy, I appreciate you coming on, man, and enjoy the rest of your week, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jimmy.
See you Friday.
All right. I'm glad we were able to get Jimmy on. Talking hoops. Known Jimmy for a long time, and he's my hoops go-to guy. Fred, I won some money yesterday. Golf.
Golf.
I bet Batia on Saturday. I just had a little feeling, and he comes down on Sunday and ended up winning the tournament at the API, which was pretty cool. And I just knew it, man. I just had a gut feeling. I'm like, I think he's kind of rolling, man. Threw 5 on him, 155. Can't beat that.
Oh.
So pretty excited about that. Obviously, got the players next week, which will be exciting, and hopefully Rory's back on because your boy Rory withdrew on Saturday
saw
because
that.
he had a hurt back.
I saw that. He's the next Tiger Woods.
I thought this-
Injury-wise.
Yeah. Be very specific when it
Yeah.
comes to that. But I'm sorry I saved this till the end, Fred, because I know that you had a weekend of weekends, but holy cow, Fred. The World Baseball Classic has been awesome. Awesome. I mean, so many awesome highlights, so many great games, so many monster home runs. Take me through this weekend for you, man. What was some of your highlights?
Well,
You're a Judge guy? I mean, he had a hell of a last couple days. I mean, pool play right now has been great. Bracket play starts Tuesday?
it might be Wednesday. I mean,
It's Tuesday or Wednesday.
yeah, it's around there. It's been amazing. It's been as good as expected, right? It's as amazing as we expected it to be. Like, I was super fired up getting into this. Meaningful baseball games. Like, I mean,
That's key.
meaningful baseball games now that are just going to run us up to a week before opening day. I mean, there's nothing better right now that in the baseball world,
For sure.
but the U.S. covered both games by a hook. So, like, given 9.5 against Brazil, won by 10 in the ninth, given 8.5 against Great Britain, won by 9. So, like, I thought they would mercy rule Brazil. Little Manny, though. Manny Ramirez Jr., 2 homers. And then the 17-year-old from Brazil, like, dude's a fucking senior in high school.
Right? He's the one that pinched Judge and got them out right away in like a really big
double play on Judge. Like, come on. Dude's 17. So, like, awesome. Like, when you're watching some of these teams, you have to actually like look them up because they're not all like the U.S.
You're saying the players, right?
Yeah,
You're saying
well,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Like, I mean, when you get into like the Dominican, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, obviously the U.S., all MLB guys, like we know,
Yeah.
but like you're playing other teams. Australia has a decent little team, but like
Who did they just barely beat? They beat somebody, I forget, and I kind of looked at it like, oh man, they could have. I didn't realize Australia had a really solid team like that. I forget who it was they played, or maybe lost by 1 or beat the team. I forget what that one was.
I mean, I do think that Japan ends up in the final, but as for the like the Venezuelans, Puerto Rico, the Dominicans, like, dude, these are like major league clubs.
Yeah.
Like Mexico. So it'll be interesting tonight to see. Like the Puerto Rico game is huge. That'll be a good game. But and also the U.S. Mexico game tonight is going to be a good game. I think. I mean, I got the U.S. winning by like 5-6 runs, but like, I mean, it's still going to be a good game. Like, like just watching this is amazing right now. Just meaningful, meaningful baseball. It's going to put us right into. It's like we have so much going on right now. We went from nothing to everything. So, like,
go ahead.
From the Super Bowl to now, we were, and listen, I know you're not a hockey guy, and not many people that I talk to are into hockey like we used to be until the playoffs. But like, we had the Olympics right in the middle, so we had that for hockey. Basketball with load management is brutal until the playoffs. That's just me.
Yep.
That's
not just you, bro. That is not just you.
So, and then we have March Madness coming in. So, like, there was nothing going on. I mean, yes, if you're an Olympic guy, yeah, you had a lot going on. But like, take the Olympics out because that's only a once in every 2 years. But like, like after the Super Bowl, it was like, oh, this basketball, hockey, and the beginning of spring training. But now it's like, now we have World Baseball Classic. We have championship week leading into March Madness. And then that's going to lead us into opening day. It's like, and then once we get into opening day, you know, 2 weeks later, the NBA season and NHL season are over. So, like, this is it now. Like, we're getting into, like, sports heaven. So,
Yeah.
like March
Sunday.
Madness is crazy.
Yeah, the walk off on Saturday night in Puerto Rico was amazing. The to
Awesome.
wa Like, you wanna watch the shot, great. I mean, the hit, the grand slam, but just watch the crowd, man. Like, I got a buddy who's in Puerto Rico right now. He's going to the game tonight. It's probably the atmosphere is just insane. But to your
There
point, Fred, I spent Sunday, like, on the couch. Like, it was nice here too, and I was, like, all into the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Obviously, Celtics, Cavs game was flipping back and forth that. Then, going back and forth to World Baseball Classic, watching Dominican just pound the team they played. Like, it was awesome. It was an awesome weekend, man, and I'm really excited for this coming up week with the conference championships, bracket play, all that stuff.
Yeah,
But,
that'd be awesome.
it is gonna be. But, as we finish the show every Monday, Fred, what are you watching right now? I would assume that you're immersed in everything baseball. Did you get
So
a chance to watch anything off of, outside of sports?
yeah, and we do have to speak about this because the 15th is the Oscars. So, I think we won't be talking until after the Oscars. So we did watch Hamnet.
Okay,
I'm not sure it's gonna win Best Picture. It's good movie. I enjoyed it. It's sad, I guess.
okay,
So this week I have to watch Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and One Battle After Another, which we still haven't watched yet. I think that with the Oscars, but yeah, we're finishing up Lincoln Lawyer. Not finishing really. I mean, we just got through season 1. I think
okay.
there's 4 seasons. So we're watching that. And this week is going to be more, I'm going to try to bang out more movies this week just because I have to watch the Best Picture nominees, heading into Sunday. So I don't know what else. I thought there was another show that Mary was watching that like a newer show, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's right now. We just finished season 1 Lincoln Lawyer. We watched Hamnet. So I mean, I don't know if like, I watched Hamnet because it's a Best Picture nominee. Like, I'm not
Right.
sure I would watch it if it wasn't.
If
I don't know. I'm not a Shakespeare guy, so but yeah, it's worth a watch.
I no movies this week for me. Kind of feel like some of those movies I don't know. I've watched a lot. One of the I get caught up in the shows that I'm excited about watching and don't have the patience to hold on until the season completely releases. And for example, that is Shrinking. It's one of the best shows on TV right now with Jason Segel and
Yeah,
Harrison Ford.
it's
It's
amazing.
just funny show. Right. So I'm in the midst of that. I did watch the very first season of DTF St. Louis. It's a show on HBO with Jason
Yeah,
Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
The first episode was interesting. The second one came out last night, which I got to check that out. Heard it's pretty good. And then I'm already into season 2 of Paradise, and the newest episode comes out on Wednesday. And I text you about that.
Yeah.
You season 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously we're both huge Randall fans.
I watch everything Randall's in.
And I don't know what it was, but I was thinking that the season 2 kind of starts off with showing the outside world and not the world that he's
Okay.
living in. So it's and I'm no spoilers here. It's just kind of, this is the
Yeah.
premise of season 2 at this point. I think I'm 4 or 5 episodes in. And I thought to myself, I would be absolutely worthless, the type of person that I am, if I was left in that world with no internet, no nothing. Like, I'm like working on through candlelight. I would be worthless to my wife. I really would. I don't know. Maybe my like instincts would kick in at that point and I'm in survival mode, but I pray that doesn't happen in real life. I mean, where would you see yourself, Fred? I mean, as
I
far as that's concerned, I mean, can you see yourself in that situation that
I this. I'm built for that. No internet, no nothing, bare minimum. Like, I can definitely thrive in that situation. Like, like, aside from the actual virus itself, I was built for COVID.
Yeah, more.
Now, a little different because we did have access to television and, stuff like that. But like, I'm built for that apocalyptic shit. So like,
Yeah.
like, and I told you, like we've mentioned this before. I'm always looking for some kind of like rancher position, maybe an oil rig position.
Yeah.
Maybe some apocalyptic job somewhere where they
Sure.
test out people in apocalyptic situations, put us in the woods somewhere for like, till we die. Like let's do something like that. Like I'm down with that. Paradise was I mean, season 1 was amazing, not just because
Yeah.
of Randall. Randall is amazing. So there's a couple people, and me and Mary talked about this yesterday. There's a couple people that when you see a trailer for, you automatically watch it regardless of what it is. John
Of course.
Hamm, Jason Bateman, and Randall. Like
Yeah.
those are 3 guys where
McConaughey.
like, yeah, but like DTF, like I read the thing to Mary the other day. I go, Jason Bateman. Yeah, we'll watch it. It
Yeah.
doesn't even matter what it's about. It could be about knitting. So yeah, we're going to watch that. I did tell you, I like to load up a little. I can't,
I know.
it drives me nuts to wait around. And I did
Well,
that recently with traders,
yeah. It's it.
that's,
Well, I have to in my household, I have to go to Sarah when I pick the show. I have to let her know, hey, we're in the middle of a season, because if that stops and she gets into it and I didn't give her a heads up, she's not happy,
yeah,
which is understandable.
yeah.
And one thing before we get off for this week, it's funny you brought up the oil rig situation. Nolan reached out to me one time after the podcast, and this was a couple weeks ago, and you had said something about getting an oil rig job. He goes, he just responds, this is the only text he sent me. He says, Fred on an oil rig would be something wild.
Yes.
I think he's pushing for that.
I'll do 30 days on as a ranch hand or a worm on an oil rig. Like,
There you go.
let me do this. I do have one thing I want to bring up, and I want to get your take on it. What do you
Yeah.
think about this whole Logan Paul shit?
Dude, I'm so happy that you brought this up, to be honest with you. And you know what? We'll run over for this. Number one, I wanted, well, did you I think I sent it to you. Brandon Jacobs talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "Dude, current players for $1 million,
Yeah.
they got bigger fish to fry, guy. Why
Yeah.
don't you come after guys like me, Le'Veon Bell?" I forget what the third person that he betted, but I'm so mad that Logan didn't do his homework and ask his boss if he could actually do this before he opened his mouth, because I would love to see Brandon Jacobs pound the shit out of.
Now, here's the thing. I agree with Le'Veon Bell. I think it was a fake phone call from his boss. Because with all this going on, someone already said something to him. Like, hey, you're not going to be able to fight somebody. Like, it's all over the place. And then all of a sudden, Le'Veon agrees, and he has this stream, and he's like, oh, hold on, I'm getting a call from the W. Yeah, get out of here.
Turns out I'm more valuable than I thought.
Yeah, that whole thing there, I'm glad that Le'Veon called him out on it. The biggest duck in history. I thought that it played out amazingly.
I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together, and I did see a lot of the emojis with all the ducks, and okay, I got it. I appreciate you explaining that to me. That is funny.
Yeah, biggest duck of all time. So at one point I was about at one point I'm like, wait, are we going to see a boxing match next Saturday? Because they're talking about like next week. I'm like, wait a second. And they're like going through all like the contract shit. And I'm like, we're going to see like a boxing match in 7 days. Like,
let me ask you this question too, and then we'll jump off. But let me ask you this question, because you're more of a boxing guy than I am. Do you see somebody like a Brandon Jacobs or Le'Veon Bell just beating the hell out of him, or is Logan Paul, could he hang? Could he beat one of these guys? He's a boxer. These guys are not boxers. They may be stronger. They may be more physically just stronger in general. But
boxing's a little different than just being tough, because it's not a street fight. But and like Logan started out boxing and then transitioned to wrestling. Not like Jake. Jake, just
is
continued with boxing. So like, I'm not sure Logan Paul's really training as a boxer, right?
Good point.
Like he started, and then he just transitioned, and then he's like Jake Paul's training. Like you like him or you hate him or whatever, indifferent about him. The guy is training though. Like so like that would be a little bit different. I think Logan Paul would. I mean, depending on like you said, like I don't know what kind of shape Brandon Jacobs is in. Like
Right.
I mean, I don't want to fight him. I'll tell you that. But like to be a WWE superstar, the dude's in tip top shape.
Gotta be. I mean, these
So
guys are
like
wrestling.
that's
There's
one.
no load management in the WWE.
No. These guys are like on tour 52 weeks a year. They don't have an off season. So like
No.
I think that his conditioning and shit is probably through the roof. Now, Le'Veon Bell claims that he's still working out and stuff like that. Like, but I would have loved to see the Le'Veon Bell like that, just because it would have been more like it would just he's all over the gram. Like it would have been spectacular. But like I don't trust anything also with those type of like these type of fights that come up with like he switched. Oh well, we're gonna spar. It's like now what are you doing? Like,
Right.
like what do you mean you're gonna beat me, but then you want to spar for $1 million? Like just scrap it out. Like, like it would have been great. And it's amazing that things like this are coming up, but like he's gonna be pinned as the biggest duck of all time until he fights somebody. You can't just go on to social media and call out the whole NFL
Every NFL. Every NFL player.
and then get 3 guys to agree that are retired and then say I can't fight. So
Yeah.
come on, bro. What a fucking joker. So like I would have loved to see Le'Veon Bell box him, but I think
Yeah,
the
for
second
sure.
best thing was seeing Logan Paul be a punk.
For sure. For sure. All right. So should we go live Sunday night? Selection Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Should we think?
I got Selection Sunday starts at like 6:00 your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're off. We have an off week for baseball this week.
Okay.
Got totally destroyed yesterday again. It was bad. Not sure what.
Unfortunately, we're well past our time, but we have
Yeah.
to, I have to bring it in. Maybe we'll bring it up when we go live because we have no time constraints on the
Yeah.
live feeds.
Keep me posted on that, and then yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. Then tomorrow, do you catch us on the Sports Reel podcast?
Yeah.
Going live on YouTube at 6 p.m., which I sent him your email. So you'll be getting a link to,
Okay.
for that.
6
And
p.m.
then-
your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything I send you, Fred, obviously, is going to be Eastern. I don't give a shit about your time zone. So
Well,
just
no,
do
and the world revolves around Eastern. I
Thank
agree.
Great. So, all right, Fred, you have a good week. I will see you tomorrow, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Take care, y'all.